Hello, my name's Wendy Paton, and I used to be neighbour to Robert Smith. I first moved into the house in 1974 when my son Stephen was 13, and we didn't know the neighbours very well, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because it was a house that was surrounded by trees, and we all went into our own driveway and didn't see much of people. We were at 4 and they were at 3. We began to hear rumours that next door were going to put up a studio in their garden, which happened to be just under my bedroom window. We didn't think much of it at the time, but Robert and his friends started practising. We could hear drumming mainly, and we were told by other people that his dad had given him a year to see if he could make it as a group. At the time, we didn't think much of it because we weren't into that kind of music. Having heard it since, I appreciate it more. At the time, all we could hear was loud music, usually on a Saturday evening, which often was when his mum and dad weren't there, so I don't think they realised how loud it was. And it got so bad up to, say, 2 o'clock in the morning. A couple of times we had to call the police because we just couldn't sleep. They were called Easy Cure at the time, and we began to see crowds of teenagers, usually dressed with what we thought was funny-looking hair that stuck up, and it turns out to be goth or something like that. Eventually, Robert must have started to make it big and moved out of the house and went his own way. We had an exhibition in the local museum where I volunteer, and when we had an exhibition of the Cure's work, we had hundreds of visitors. I think that at the time, the Cure were playing at the O2 or at Hyde Park, somewhere like that. And so people had come over from abroad to that concert. When they saw my name on a piece I'd written about Robert, and then on my lanyard, they started questioning me. And I even had a couple of young men who came from America who asked to have a picture with me just because I was Robert's next door neighbour, which I thought was hilarious. My son did meet him. He didn't go to the same school as my son, and anyway, he was 2 years older. But he did go to their school and play, and my son Stephen really appreciated it and would have liked to have joined them, but he didn't have the talent. Living next to Robert Smith was my biggest claim to fame. Especially after the exhibition, where people were asking to have my photograph because I was Robert's neighbour.